G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back for part 8 of the Path of Exile Survival Guide. As you can see, we've now made it into Act 3 and we're about to go and progress, but the very first thing I want to do is check the vendors for a bow. Our one is falling behind a bit in level. If we take this gem out, we can see it's only a level 19 bow. We're at level 24 and that means the fizz damage is falling behind by quite a bit. It's not a bad bow, but we can do a lot better, so having a really nice high physical damage bow is going to make Act 3 a lot easier and a lot more fun. So hopefully we can do that, and if we do, we can probably even start using the Hatred Aura for a while to give us a bit more DPS. So, when looking for a bow or an appropriate weapon for your level, you're pretty much just looking for a white one. Occasionally you might get a well-rolled blue, but mostly we're just looking for a white one, the closest level to us as possible. We're currently level 24, so we're looking at the bone bow based bow type at the moment. This one here is not so great. I don't really want to buy this one because it's only 2 to 5 fizz. Accuracy isn't a big deal for us at the moment, and we're going to have to, just alterate that to try and craft it some more. But I'd prefer to have a white one because then we can actually use some blacksmith whetstones on a bow for some reason, because I don't really know how that works in terms of real life. I don't know how you sharpen a bow. But anyway, we can use some blacksmith whetstones to increase the damage before we try and roll it. But looks like no bow for this time around. We've just got some lower level ones here. Do we not want to buy a level 10 bow or a level 15 bow? So that's about it for now. So we're going to continue on then, and we'll come back. We're almost leveled up, so we'll come back next level, or once we finish a bit of farming. We'll also keep an eye out for white bows that drop on the ground as well, or of course rare or magical bows. So we're going to be heading straight into the slums. You saw we just ran around that top section up the top. And there's quite a few things to do in here. There's a number of ways to do Act 3. The most efficient way is to do it by using public parties to hop around different quests. But in normal, I'm going to show you guys how to do it the solo way, essentially. The most effective way to do it solo. So we'll be kind of just progressing through it in a more linear fashion than we would be if we were using public parties to drop around. So as you can see, we've got some of these undying outcasts from the first zone that we came in. Oh, a bone bow. There we go. We're doing all right. We'll grab onto this and hold onto it for a little while, and maybe we'll craft it if we don't find another one. But we've also got these guys here, the carrion minions. Now, these are spawned by the carrion queens up here, and they explode on you when they get close enough. They kind of don't explode as quickly as some of the other exploding minions for some reason, but they do explode if they hang around you for a little bit. So you kind of want to kite them back a little bit. And the carrion queens themselves also deal fire damage through those fireballs. We should still be set up for fire resist from doing Val earlier. So let's look at our fire resist. We're 37 fire resist. That's probably okay to continue through here. Should be just fine. So, we're going to progress through this zone. I'm going to kind of scoot around the outside of the zone if possible, following the wall along, and we'll try and see if we can find the first section of the quest we're looking for. And we'll pretty much just be using Fire Trap and Poison Arrow for the most part, and Split Arrow to finish things off where we need to. That's because our bow's damage is falling a bit behind now, so Fire Trap and Poison Arrow, comparatively speaking, are going to be more effective. And I'm just going to kite this. Oh, I don't want to get caught in the Ice Nova. This is getting pretty crazy here. So we're just going to kite these guys around pretty much and have them stand in our AoE for as much as possible. And we've gained a level, of course, because there's a ton of minions here. Whoa, that guy's huge! Viper Thrash with extra life is massive. They've made our rares larger looking now, and the ones with extra life are even larger still, so it gets pretty entertaining at times. So I'll see if I can clear these shrines out, and maybe I'll grab the shrine for myself. That might actually help with the clearing. So let's go ahead and grab this fella. There we go, now we've got it, and this should help with clearing out all these guys. Pretty nice XP though, pretty nice chunk of XP. Now, for fighting these guys with the fireballs, they're not actually too hard to dodge the actual fireballs themselves, as long as you keep moving. So you can kind of just shoot and scoot like I'm doing now. Just if you've got enough attack speed, enough move speed, it'll be pretty easy to dodge these sorts of things. They do a fair bit of damage if you don't have any fire resist though, so you do want to make sure to practice avoiding these guys, and to stay out of reach of the exploding carrion swarmers. Carrion minions. Okay, so we've headed along the outside of the zone. It looks like we've found Nero, is it? I cannot remember her name. Clarissa, I believe it's Clarissa. We've found where we're going to be rescuing Clarissa. So in order to do this, we need to kill off all of these blackguards here and the blackguard captain. The blackguard captain is very similar to the guy that we fought in Act 2, Clearing the Way Forward quest. He deals cleaves and double strikes and does quite a bit of physical damage, so you want to kite him around as much as possible. We've actually got a bunch of other mobs in this area though, so I'm going to have to try and clear out everything just together, see what I can do there. Alright, let's see if I can just face tank him the rest of the way. And there we go. Did we get any good drops for us? We could be using armor evasion, rating armor like this soon. But our one's apparently pretty good with a good amount of life on it. So we'll just talk to Clarissa and that activates this section of the quest. There's still a few more things we have to do though before we can continue on. So I'm just going to continue scooting over towards Blood Magic. We're still rushing straight for Blood Magic over here, going along here. But we're going to also probably duck down and grab this life cluster first, and probably even the regen node as well, before moving on to give us a bit of extra survivability. So from here we're just going to continue on throughout this zone. You kind of end up exploring most of this zone to find all the quests, but from finding Clarissa here, we're pretty much going to be moving straight up along the outside of the zone to try and find the crematorium. And we've got another shrine here. Lots of Frost Nova shrines I've been encountering. Now here's an interesting note before we progress onwards. Split Arrow has now leveled up to the point where it gained an additional projectile. This is a unique mechanic to Split Arrow. When you first start off it only fires 3 projectiles, but you'll notice that now it's firing 4. Now with any skill, almost any that fires multiple projectiles, some spells and things like EK don't work with this, but things like Split Arrow or lesser multiple projectiles, Ice Shot or anything like that, you can control the arc, the firing arc of the skill. So if we target this far away from our character and shoot, all of the arrows will stay fairly clustered together. You know, they kind of fire out in a tight cone. Now if we fire much closer to our character, it actually spreads out more as we move closer and closer to our character. So this is pretty interesting, and you know, when we're firing right on top of our character, it almost spreads out at a full sort of, you know, 180 degrees away around our character like that. So this is pretty interesting. It means if you're targeting mobs that are directly on top of you, your arrows are kind of go off wild. Now if you're surrounded, that's okay, but if most mobs are still in front of you, you actually want to target past mobs. And if most mobs are clustered up, you want to try and target as far away from you as you can to try and cluster those arrows up to use that as effectively as possible. And this goes for a number of different things. It also goes for like fireballs with lesser multiple projectiles, so it's a good skill to learn to be able to control these projectiles nicely. It also works really nicely with spells like Freeze Pulse with less than multiple projectiles, which is actually super important for that spell as well, because the pulses from Freeze Pulse can actually overlap and deal multiple instances of damage. They can essentially what's called shotgunning. This also works with Fireball. It doesn't work with things like Split Arrow though. It only works with specific spells. But by doing this, by overlapping these projectiles, essentially, by overlapping these Freeze Pulses, you can deal more damage to mobs by making sure you do that. So when you're Freeze Pulsing with less multiple projectiles, you want to target far away from you to try and overlap as much as possible. So it's a good thing to know for increasing the effectiveness of your actual skill. Oh, some full-scale armor. I will check that out. It's armor evasion rating armor, and it's level appropriate as well. I believe it should be about our level. So if this rolls well, if it rolls some life, or maybe if it rolls really good other stats, could be well worth wearing. Oh, not quite. It's actually a much higher level than us. What's the zone level we're in currently? We're in level 27 zone at level 25, so this is an interesting thing to point out actually. White mobs will drop the level of the zone that you're currently in, so killing off a white snake will drop level 27 items. Killing off a blue monster, they can drop one level higher than that, so they can drop 27 and 28, and this is what's happened with this one here. And rare mobs, so yellow mobs, can actually drop 2 levels higher. So we could actually find level 29 items off of rare mobs in this zone. This becomes increasingly important as we move throughout the game. However, that item is no good for us, so we're just going to pick up this festival mask though, as it's a chromatic item, and we'll get a nice piece of currency from that. So as you're traveling through this zone, you may encounter the entrance to the sewers. This will be locked at this point in the game. You won't be able to open it, but you do want to kind of keep an idea of where that is, because we will be going back. However, I've encountered the crematorium first. I actually haven't found the sewers yet, so I'm going to have to go back and find that later. As you can see, scooting around here with the arrow keys, we can see that I've only encountered Clarissa down over there, and the crematorium back here. So we're actually going to have to run back and find the sewers later. But that's pretty much the order you do things in anyway. Now, the crematorium, as the name suggests, is all about the fire damage. So if we don't have our fire resist sorted at this point, we want to make sure we do. We also want to make sure we have the potential to cap out our lightning resist as well, because we're going to be encountering a bit of a difficult fight in here. However, I think we're doing okay for now. Actually, what we might do is we'll go into the crematorium, and there'll be a waypoint in here somewhere that we can take back to town. And here it is. So let's go back to town rather than using a portal scroll. And we'll sell some gear and see if we can craft this bow, or if there's a better bow for us in here. Maybe there's a 3-link or something like that. So we're looking for the 24 bows. No 24 bows. Looks like only lower level ones. We've got, oh, it's only a short bow. Not going to be very good for us. And another thing we're looking to upgrade soon is our quiver. It's getting pretty bad now. Gloves are okay for damage. We also need a new helmet, and the chest is starting to lag behind a bit, but it's still okay with 27 life. It's a pretty good roll. And our boots are still okay until we can find some decent move speed ones. So primarily looking to upgrade our bow though, as weapons are one of the biggest things that will speed up your progression. So we have only 2 blacksmith whetstones unfortunately, but I will go ahead and use these. Then we're going to use an Orb of Transmutation. This is always fun. I enjoy the gambling. Actually, we could use an Orb of Chance to try and gamble this away. If we get a rare, we're not going to be able to re-roll it, but maybe the rare will be good. Who knows? Who knows? We could use an Alk, but this is actually a very risky investment. There's a lot of stats that could roll on a bow that aren't going to help us, so using an Alk is pretty risky. I think I'm probably just going to go the safe route and use a Transmute. So we've got an accuracy rating. That's not going to help at all. We actually don't have any augmentation orbs either, so we're going to only be able to craft halfway here depending on what we get. 1 to 33 lightning damage isn't actually too bad. The stat I'm really hoping for is a high physical damage mod, so something like %80% physical damage increased. So that'll obviously multiply the base physical damage of the bow by 80% and increase it by that much, and it'll make a big difference. 1 to 33 lightning damage is actually a pretty nice lightning damage roll. Projectile speed doesn't help us too much, but it's not terrible. Now we could blow up to 4 more alterations on that, but we don't have any augments, and we don't really know how well we're going to do. This is a damage upgrade for us from 1236 to 727 and 9 to 18 fire damage. So I think we can probably do this. We'll actually look at our tooltip DPS here. 65 to 87. A pretty nice jump. I would say probably worthwhile doing. Now, if this bow was amazing, we could keep it in our inventory if we were playing hardcore, and in case we die, we could re-level up using it, but, you know, we're not playing hardcore, and I don't think we'll be needing to re-roll anytime soon. That one is a pretty rubbish helmet, so we'll go ahead and sell that. We actually have some more alterations, some more currency, but now we can go back to the waypoint and continue on with our questing. It's actually a pretty good idea to check for rings since we've rescued Clarissa first, which is a very good idea to do. We can see if she has any resistance rings for us. She's actually got a cold and lightning resist 2-stone here, but I'd prefer like one with fire and lightning or something like that, so probably not too helpful. I have a second lightning resist ring I can use, and is there anything really good in here? Check if these have any amazing rolls on them. No, they're all looking pretty average, and no good fire resist rings, so we're going to have to kind of go through with the stats that we currently have, which is 37 fire resist, about 40 is good enough, and we can increase our lightning resist by trading out this fire ring after. Even though we'll lose a bunch of life, I think that'll probably be worth it for this upcoming fight, because it has pure lightning damage, so resistance has become very important in that. Make sure our fire resist is good, 40%, should be pretty good for this. Because as you can see, pretty much everything in here deals a ton of fire damage. Our fire trap's also less effective against these guys. These golems have a ton of life, so they can take a while to kill. You can kind of skip over these really high life things if you want, but we'll kill this guy off because he's rare. Maybe he'll drop us some really nice loot, but we'll see. So I'll just make sure all my AoE abilities are happening. Now, like the other golems in Act 2, these guys do roll, but these guys also leave a trail of fire, so you want to move out of that when they do roll, because that will deal extra damage to you over time. As you can see, it's exactly like Fire Trap, that damage over time effect on the ground. So we're just going to use these guys. Are we high enough level to use our new flask yet? Not quite. I'll actually see what level that is. And there he is. Nothing good for us. Level 26, so when we finish this next level, we'll be able to use that flask. That should be pretty exciting. Other than that, we've got, skeletons, we've got skeletal mages, we've got a bunch of different stuff that deals fire damage. There should also be necromancers in here that cast the flammability curse. That's important to watch out for because it's going to reduce your fire resistances. If you're got capped fire resist, that's probably not going to be too big a deal. But for us, with only 40% fire resist, something we actually have to watch out for, and we want to avoid taking too much fire damage while under the effects of that curse. These guys are being a pain, and there's no real way for me to get through here, so I'm just going to have to kill these guys off and see if I can continue through here. There we go, let's draw these guys together. I'm running pretty low on mana at the moment. Some mana regen gear would be really, really helpful at the moment. What do we have currently? Not much in the way of mana regen, so we just need to kill some stuff and keep our flasks up if possible. Okay, so we've encountered the zone boss. Well, we haven't quite encountered him yet, but he's in the next room. Something else I want to mention is that pretty much everything in here is fire resistant, and our character just so happens to be stacking primarily fire damage at the moment. So you can see, oh, we've got lightning damage on our bow now at least, but we've got like fire damage on our gloves here, and I think we had some extra fire damage, yeah, on our amulet, increased fire damage and things like that. We're getting a lot of our damage from fire at the moment, so it's slowing us down by quite a bit. But let's see if we can point out this zone boss. We have Hate Beat in here. He's a fire golem, and he also uses Firestorm in addition to rolling over you like the other golems. Same deal with how every time we've dealt with Firestorm in the past, we kind of want to avoid it. This guy takes a very long time to kill as well. As a unique golem, he has a ton of life. As you can see, we're doing very little damage to him overall, and if we can pick off his ads, though, we should be able to kill him off. I will kill him off. It's not a big deal. Basically the same as in, avoiding the Firestorm character in Act 1. We kind of just want to circle kite around him. Oh, a rare bow! Please be an upgrade. I think a royal bow is level appropriate as well. It might be a higher level. We might not be able to use it yet either, if it's dropped off something that's a bit of a high level zone, level 28 or level 25. We might not be able to use that yet. So we'll just keep on the move. Try not to get too close to him as a ranged character so he doesn't roll over the top of you. As a melee character, kind of just hit him and run around him a little bit to try and avoid those firestorms. I can kind of show that off a bit. We just kind of want to, move around him like this to make sure the firestorm is on the opposite side of him to what we are. And as long as you don't stand there and eat a bunch of firestorms, you'll be able to take him down without too many problems. And of course, as long as if you've got your fire resists up, you'll be okay. As you can see, we're pretty mana starved at the moment. Killings are getting a little bit slow when these things don't take any damage from fire. And loot. Oh, leveled up. Clutch level 2. Healed us up. I don't think the Scarlet Raiment could be very good for us, but we'll check it out. How's our bow? Oh, try elemental damage rolls. Actually, one's a fizz roll. That's not bad. It could be better. A big percentage fizz roll makes a big difference, but this is pretty nice, and we will probably use that. The try rolls, the fire damage rolls, pretty nice. The cold damage rolls, okay. Scarlet Raiment, anything good here? Nope, nothing good, just selling. I also found a chromatic item. So once we reach level 28, which is 2 levels off, we'll be able to use that new bow. But for now, just continuing along here. We can pick up Ice Bite while we're leveling to give us extra cold damage while we're using the Hatred Aura. Actually, we could probably consider using the Hatred Aura now even. Let's see how effective it is, the damage increase. Of course, reserving a bunch of your mana, if you're having any mana issues, is going to just aggravate that a bit because you won't have as much reserves. But let's see what our DPS increase for this and see whether it's worth it. 97, 87, 10 DPS increase for reserving that much mana. Honestly, probably not really even worth it. So, yeah. The auras, the new increased auras are a little bit harder to run in early game. So, we've encountered the boss room. See, that was the kind of the zone boss. That was the zone unique boss that we just fought. But we actually have another boss to fight in here. Pretty densely packed boss fighting. But once you encounter this zone where it's got some stairs and a stack of dead bodies and things like that, you want to switch to your lightning resist before you go up those stairs. So our lightning resist is currently 29. We're going to switch over out of this fire, even though we drop a ton of life, to get as much lightning resist as possible. 30 is going to help us out quite a bit. There's nothing else I don't think we can do for lightning resist at the moment, but 50 lightning resist should be pretty good. So, this is our first encounter with Piety. Also, a bunch of her friends, so we're going to lay down our fire traps to try and kill those off when they spawn. There we go. So she does a little monologue and then she'll aggro. Now, as you can see, we just ate a ton of lightning damage from that lightning ball. She does lightning balls and she does a lightning storm. The lightning storm is exactly like Firestorm. You want to stay out of it. However, it's far more dangerous than Firestorm because it also shock stacks you. So then you're going to take amplified damage from it if you stand around in it too long. The lightning ball zaps you constantly as it goes past you, so you want to move out of the way of it. The other main attack she uses is Arc. There's not much you can do to avoid Arc, so just try and keep an eye out whether you've got shock stacks. We haven't been shock stacked yet, so we're doing okay. I can stand there and attack. We want to avoid that lightning ball as much as possible. We want to stay out of her lightning storms. And we want to just keep hitting her down. We don't actually have to kill her in this fight. We only have to bring her life down to half. So, as long as we keep ourselves safe, make sure we're not getting shock stacked. If we do get shock stacked, we want to back off immediately and run through that. If you're in a tight spot, like if you're stuck in a corner or something like that, and that lightning ball comes towards you, the best thing you can actually do is run through it, because it's going to zap you less. If you run away from it, if you run kind of with it or away from it, it's like a steamroller rolling over you. It's just going to hurt for longer. kind of dive under it, I guess. A wave would be a better example. As you see, we got her life down to half, and she runs away. And then we want to rescue Tolman. I'm sorry, Clarissa. We didn't get here in time. Now, when you first came into this zone, no doubt if you had your volume turned up, you would have heard some pretty brutal screams, and we've now found the source of those. So that's a little bit sad. But what we're going to do now, we've got Tolman's bracelet, make sure to pick that up, and we're going to go return it to Clarissa. A bit sad, but she deserves to know. So after we give her the bracelet, she'll give us the sewer keys, and now you'll know why we tried to keep in mind the sewer entrance. Since we didn't5 it though in this particular run, we're going to take the waypoint back to crematorium, and we're going to just head straight back out the exit here, and we're going to continue searching this zone. Hopefully, if we've been fast enough, the zone will still be somewhat explored, which it has, so we're just going to continue along now. Now, we might be able to continue up here. No, not in this particular instance. So we're going to have to go back the way we've came, and kind of head off into probably this area somewhere will be the sewer. It might actually be near where Clarissa was found, so I'll scoot along and see if I can find it. I'll let you guys know when I get there. Okay, we've found the sewer grating, using the massive shrine to cleave a path through the enemy mobs here. I want to make sure we open up the sewer shrine. Now, this episode's probably going to go a little bit longer because we can't actually really end it here. If we end it here, we're actually going to have to re-find this sewer entrance. So, we're going to do the most efficient solo method and continue on through the sewers. Now, if I was playing with a group, that would be fine. I would just open the sewer entrance and I would come back here later using groups to grab waypoints and things like that. But since we're not using a group, we're going to just have to do it the traditional way. So in here, we've got a few enemies that we've encountered before, but we've actually got a new type of enemy as well, the Undying Alchemist. Now, these guys are the ones throwing the kind of, they're kind of like bombs, poison bombs that explode on you after a second. So you kind of want to move out of the poison AoE for this. If you see a little green orb on the ground, you kind of want to move away from it before it blows up, because that will do chaos damage, which you know, can cut through us pretty quickly, especially if you're an energy shield character with lower life. But we'll continue through here. Looks like we killed off the alchemist. I'll try and show off another one of these guys when we encounter them. Oh, Frost Nova! I love Frost Nova. Super effective at helping us clear these guys out. So we're also keeping an eye out for any good 3 or 4 link items. Armor, evasion, or evasion armor gear is pretty fine for us. If we find a 4 link as well, we want to pick that up. I think we can start getting 4 links now as well, so we want to start keeping an eye out for those guys. Ooh, full leather could be pretty good to craft if we need a better chest. We're finding lots of good whites now that will be upgrades for us soon. So if we don't actually find a blue upgrade or a rare upgrade soon, we might actually consider instead picking up one of these whites and using it to craft like we did with our previous bow to try and get an upgrade there. You can do it pretty cheaply if you don't try for something perfect. We don't need perfect gear. We just need upgrades, and we need okay gear. We need okay gear. So we're going to continue through here, just keeping an eye out for those Undying Alchemists and just trying not to take too much damage from all of these guys. Oh, we found some falling boots and some rare gauntlets. Either of these could be quite good for us, so just going to kill off the last of these mobs here and have a look at our new loots, because that's always very exciting. Okay, so we've got some gauntlets here. We've got, 2 damage rolls. They're terrible damage rolls, but 50 life and some cold resist. Holy crap, those gloves are good. So we're definitely going to be using those. Nice upgrade. So this is an armor energy shield pair of boots. Not ideal for us, but we could still use this if we need falling. So we're actually going to keep this to the side for now and see if we need to use that a little bit later on. So we've now encountered, you'll notice there's an exclamation mark in the middle of the map there. This is the first of the stash. This is a side quest. We do want to do this because we get a passive point from this, as well as some passive respec points. But we'll finish this quest later, but we get 2 of the 3 busts pretty much in this episode. So we're going to just clear these guys off. There's always like a pack of blues in here near these stashes, and often a rare. So we've got the rare Undying Alchemist as well, and he has life regen, so he's going to take forever to kill. So I'm probably just going to kill off his blue buddies there and avoid him, because he's also attacking ridiculously fast. Grab the bust and continue along. So we're going to try and find an exit from this area. It looks like off to the left here is the way we want to go, because we actually want to find an entrance to the next sewer zone. So we want to try not to get trapped and killed off by this rare if possible. Okay, so as you can see, we've found the warehouse sewers entrance. Now we're going to clear this to go pick up another one of those busts, the same sort of thing that we did before, but we're also going to be looking for a waypoint in this zone. Do get the waypoint in this zone, don't forget it. You'll punch yourself afterwards if you do forget the waypoint in this zone. So we're going to continue through here. Almost the same mobs in here. Watch out for these leap slamming guys, because they do a fair bit of damage. But there's also one extra type of mob in here that we need to be very careful of, and that is undying grapplers. I'm sure we'll encounter one soon, pretty soon. And these guys, they terrify me. They terrify me. They're very dangerous. But you can notice them because they're kind of like these undying mobs here, but they're kind of a bit more glowy, a bit more shiny, and they flicker strike. So we're already, you know, reasonably afraid of flicker striking mobs. But here's one. But these guys have an extra layer of danger. Now, if we can keep this guy alive, we can show him off. Undying grappler. They gain power charges when their allies around them die. So as you can see, he has 2. Now once they have power charges, you'll see what they do in a second when he uses all his power charges ran away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this mob here, give him a power charge, and then you notice he exploded on me. Now what they use is they use the discharge skill to discharge the power charges they have. 1 power charge isn't too bad, but if you kill a bunch of friends around him, then he discharges on you, he's going to discharge with 3 power charges. It's going to deal a ton of lightning damage. You can get one shot by this, so you need to be very careful. We already have our lightning resist set up pretty well, so we're okay for this. And if you don't have your lightning resist at the moment, it's a good time to put it on when we're clearing this zone. So we've got the stash here. There might be a few more undying grapplers in here, so we want to be careful. The best way to deal with them really is to kill them before killing any of these guys around them, if possible, or to simply draw them away and wait until their power charges wear off. Otherwise, you just want to keep your distance, which can be hard because they do flicker strike. Oh man, we need to kill off this undying alchemist. He's a pain. But we want to just kill off these blues. These guys will be a pretty nice experience and might give us some more loot. We've got the stash. Another quick silver flask. We don't need one. I'll leave it for now. And from here, we want to do the same sort of thing and find an exit from this area to try and find the waypoint. Oh man, we found the waypoint straight away. Good timing, good timing. So, just kill off these guys that are chasing us here. Make sure to clear zone exits before we go onto the loading screen in case we die on the loading screen. Can always be a little bit sad. And kill off these guys, and there we go. And let's head back to town. So we've grabbed this waypoint. We've done pretty much all of the Clarissa quest now. We can actually go ahead and we should be able to talk to. No, we don't need to talk to her now. We've already done that. So we want to talk to Hagen here. We'll turn in 2 of the 3 busts. He won't give us anything yet until we return the other 2 busts. And I think Momoa gives us a quest reward for releasing and freeing Clarissa. So, is there anything we need for this particular build from her? We've already got Frenzy. We want Projectile Weakness, definitely. That'll be the damage dealing curse we run later. So, we're actually going to grab Projectile Weakness and put it straight in our gear. And I'll probably run that on number 3 there. Oh, let's put Poison Arrow on number 1. That should be pretty good there. So, in review, we've got a Falling Boot set aside. We've got a nice bow ready to go once we level up a bit more. And we found some pretty sick gloves. Really nice life roll on that. Pretty exciting stuff. We'll sell this stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode and found it helpful as always. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.